And what's very important for you to acknowledge here, all of the manifestations that you want right now is outside of your comfort zone. And the interesting thing is this, right? Every time you go outside of your comfort zone, it's always growth. Always. Always. Every time you go outside of your comfort zone, it's always going to be growth. You will learn something, for sure. Every single time. One thing that I've learned through time is to embrace the uncomfortable. When I feel, whenever I feel something's uncomfortable, I'm kind of like, this is thrilling. So, imagine there is a comfort zone, okay? You are acting in your comfort zone, which will equate to getting the same, what? Pretty much, getting the same results. I'm trying everything. No, you're not. You're trying everything within your comfort zone, okay? Next time you catch yourself saying that, if you ever say that, I've tried everything, it's not working. No, you haven't tried everything. You know what I'm saying? You tried everything that's comfortable. I know that, yeah? The things that are uncomfortable, you usually don't try, right? Now, what happens is, now you start realizing, hey, what I want to manifest is something that I've never had before. Therefore, I must take actions that is things I've never done before, which is for sure, guaranteed, 100% guaranteed, it's going to be uncomfortable. Do you get what I'm saying? Right? Like me speaking, like me writing a book, like me creating YouTube videos, like me doing any of these things, It's uncomfortable. Like me taking a huge loan. Some of these things, like me going into fashion business, right? It's uncomfortable. Don't get it, right? Now, whenever we get into, it must require us to get out of comfort zone, take action outside of comfort zone to achieve results that we've never achieved before. Now, I'd like to ask you this question. If you are taking action outside of your comfort zone, okay, what would your mind be saying? Throw it at me now. Throw it at me. No. What else? It's not going to work. What else? What if it fails, goes wrong? What if people judge? What if they don't like me? What if I'm not good enough? What if all this, right? The mind will still go wild, right? Then what will happen after that? When your mind goes like that, what do you start feeling? Good or bad? So in a lot of situations, that's why a lot of people, they're like, oh, I'm very spiritual. But then they get false intuition. They get confused. So I'm doing this thing. I just committed to this thing. But you know what? Something in my gut is telling me this isn't right. No, it's not. You get what I'm saying? It's uncomfortable. You acknowledge it's uncomfortable, you fear a little bit, then you say, it just feels off. Of course it feels off, because I want you to recall. Think about this, okay? Can anybody remember your first driving lesson? Yeah. Okay, did it feel right? Let me tell you something, I wanted mine to feel right, because I was seeing all the other teenage kids now driving cars. I'm like, oh my God, so cool. Go to my driving lesson, get in there and drive to the shops. And, I felt like, that's how I wanted it to feel. But my first driving lesson didn't feel right. Because it was like this and left foot and right mirrors. Handbrake. Wait. Can you go through that again? Would you in that moment be like, oh, I'm in flow state, this feels so right, divine universe? No. You wouldn't feel that at all. Do you get what I'm saying? And in those moments, you get this uncomfortable feeling and you acknowledge it and you say, imagine you did that during your driving lesson, your first driving lesson. You say to your driving instructor, I don't know, my intuition is telling me I shouldn't do this. Do you get what I'm saying? But you're laughing at it, but we all do this. We all end up getting confused by this. But only when it's mind stimulated, right? It's the same thing when you want to master anything in life. If you go to a first piano lesson, I remember mine. First piano lesson was, I remember saying to Mum, I was very young at the time, and we watched a kid play piano on TV. Wow. I was like, Mom, I want to do that. She says, oh, okay. She says, well, we'll get you a piano lesson. I said, okay, cool. So imagine I go, my first piano lesson. So I'm obviously expecting this, like, thing going on, you know. I go to my first piano lesson. He's like, okay, cool. So press this one. Okay, this one. And then so, why are your two fingers moving at the same time? I don't know. Stop it. I don't know. Just move one. Okay, you're going to need to practice that some more. Practice this? Yes, this. Okay, try and move this one and this one. Okay, now come back. Okay, let's just practice with the other hand. Practice this. Imagine that was my first piano lesson. So as a kid, are you excited? Are you like, oh my God, this is exactly what I expected, this is exactly what I want? It's the same thing. Has anybody been to a first lesson like that before, right? So you learn something new in your first lesson. It's not comfortable. And what's very important for you to acknowledge here, all of the manifestations that you want right now is outside of your comfort zone. And the interesting thing is this, right? Every time you go outside of your comfort zone, it's always growth. Always. Always. Every time you go outside of your comfort zone, it's always going to be growth. You will learn something, for sure. Every single time. One thing that I've learned through time is to embrace the uncomfortable. When I feel, you know, whenever I feel something's uncomfortable, I'm kind of like, this is thrilling. Right now, we're working on a project, a piece of land. The land, 1,000 acres. 1,000 acres is going to set us at least 50 to 100 mil. Our biggest investment yet. Is it uncomfortable? A little bit, but it's thrilling. Never been there before. It'll be interesting to see what happens. It's thrilling. Do you get what I'm saying? Whenever I learn something new, I feel like it's thrilling. I'm growing. I know I'm going to grow from it. So how can we start acknowledging the fear? How can we do it anyway? How can we acknowledge that it's uncomfortable, do it anyway? How can we embrace that uncomfortable? And let me tell you something, right? This can also be trained, and it requires training. It's required for somebody to give you a little push, right? Otherwise, you'll never get your ass moving. You'll never get yourself to do something, right? In the same sense, back then, Tommy was pushing me on stage. You get what I'm saying? Now I'm so glad he did. Right? He's pushing me on stage. You go for it. You do it. I won't do it. You do it. Because let's look what's happened now. This is the result of it. But let me tell you something. This conditioning on taking action outside of comfort zone, right, isn't just about the actions you are about to take for your own manifestations. How you do anything is how you do everything.